Hi guys, we'll be starting with lesson 5, the regulatory actions. Now let's see where who are the different regulators. Now, these are different regulators. Most importantly, these are a registrar of companies and so on. They all have the powers to demand information, investigate, and they will always follow the civil procedure code. Let's start from the Companies Act. Very important. Now, under the Companies Act, Section 206 to 229 deals with inspection, inquiry, and investigation as given under Chapter 14. This is important. You need to quote it in the exam. It starts from Section 206. Very important. Okay. Now, the Registrar of Companies, ROC, he can ask any company to furnish any information or explanation and to produce documents within a certain specified time. It shall be the duty of every company to provide the information and produce the documents. This can be demanded even from the past employees if it relates to a past tenure or any past period. The inspection can be ordered by any registrar of companies, as we saw, even by RD and by central government. Now, why will the registrar try to inspect your books of accounts or inspect any documents? If the registrar has any belief that there is something not according to law going on, he can make an inspection. So the inspection may be ordered where there no information was provided, or it was inadequate, or it is unsatisfactory state of affairs exists in the company and does not disclose the full and fair statement of the information required. Then even regional director can demand inspection, or even the central government can demand information. Now let's see. First, if the registrar believes that there is any fraudulent activity, unlawful purpose, not compliance of law, or any investors' grievances not redressed, then he can make an inquiry. This inquiry is conducted. You should make it write it down 206 to 209. Who does this inquiry is generally the registrar of companies, and under these cases. Now, what is fraud? Section 447 is there, and there are other chapters also which define a fraud. Fraud is basically any act done with the intention to deceive. Now, enforcement. Now, imagine what has happened now. The authority, that is your registrar of company, or so someone, they have demanded information. They demand info. What is the duty of every officer and employee of the company is to comply and cooperate. Okay, when they demand, the employee should demand and cooperate. If they don't do that, then enforcement action will be taken. Then the authorities have no option but to punish every officer who was in default. Conduct during, so now same points will come in, that they have to assist. It shall be the duty of everyone to produce all the documents. You will, again, another important common point, that whenever the inspection is done, the registrar will have all the powers of that of a civil court with respect to discovery, production of books, summoning, enforcing, or inspecting any book. And no, if no one listens, then or disobeys the directions issued by the registrar, it shall be punishable. Now, next is section 208. Very important is inspection report. After the information has been recovered, then a report will be made called as a inspection report. So first was the demand, second was the reporting. So they will prepare a report and submit the report to the central government. If they feel that any of the documents will be tampered, or if they feel for any reason that they need to seize any document, so they can even seize it. The registrar, after obtaining an order from a special court, they can seize the documents, and they can even enter upon any place wherever the books are kept, or seize the books and papers. Now coming to section 210. First, let's see what we were doing. Just a small recap. Chapter 14 of Companies Act, Section 206 to 229, talks about inspection, inquiry, and investigation. First important is Section 206 to 209. The ROC has the power to call for information. 207 says the conduct of the officers and the employees is that they should be cooperative and furnish the information asked. Inspection report, after the information is given, a report will be made called as the inspection report. Then the officer has a right to search any of the premises, and if they feel that the any document will be is needed to be seized, they can even seize it, especially if you're trying to destroy, tamper, or in any way try to you know fabricate the evidence, so they can even seize the documents. Now coming to the next one, section 210. Initially 206 to 209 spoke about the power of the registrar. Now we are seeing the power of the central government to investigate into the affairs of the government. तो थोड़ी हायर अथॉरिटी जा रही है, कब करेगी? जब एक तो इंस्पेक्शन रिपोर्ट में जो 208 में बना था, 208 में जो इंस्पेक्शन रिपोर्ट बना है, ऑन बेसिस ऑफ दैट सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट इज ट्राइंग टू conduct a detailed investigation, or the special resolution is passed by the shareholder that please do an investigation into the company or in public interest, then the central government will order inspection. Let's see. So section 210. So you can take this important. This is important, that the investigation of the affairs of a company may be ordered by the central government. If the central government is of the opinion that they have, on basis of the report, inspection report under section 208, special resolution passed by the company that the affairs are being need to be investigated on public or in public interest. Now everything will be the same. Now when I say means what, the central government will demand info. Okay, then it will be the conduct of the parties, conduct of officers, or conduct of employees will have to cooperate with the investigation, produce the information, and then an inspection report will be made. Inspection report will be made and given. And after the inspection report, if imagine nobody is furnishing the information, then they can take a enforcement action where the officers in default will be punished. Duty of the employees. Then again, one more common point is all the officers will have the powers of that given under the Civil Procedure Code 1908 to conduct, summon, everything. Then if a letter has been received from abroad, okay, that please investigate in the affairs of the company, then the Indian courts will take action upon receipt of a letter of request from a court in a country or a place outside India competent to issue. The central government may, if it thinks fit, forward a letter of request to the court. The central government will forward a letter of request to the court concerned in India. The court concerned will then summon the person, record his statement, cause any document, send the letter to any inspector for investigation. So when a competent has issued that they need to examine any and investigate, then this can be done. Next is protection of employees. Again, important that you during the investigation, no employee can be removed or be terminated without the approval of the tribunal. So during the course of any investigation or during the pendency, such a company shall not discharge, suspend, or punish any person without the approval of the tribunal. The following actions are not permitted: to discharge, to punish, or to change any terms. Seizure of the books of accounts. So, in the course of any investigation, if the inspector has reasonable grounds to believe that the books of accounts are likely to be destroyed, mutilated, altered, falsified, secreted. In such cases, the inspector may enter and seize the books, and it will keep in his custody. Freezing of the assets, the tribunal may, by order, direct that the transfer, removal, disposal of any assets should not be allowed for a period not exceeding 3 years. तो ये freeze कर देते हैं assets जब उनको लग रहा है कि तुम during the investigation या inspection तुम उसको बेचने की कोशिश करोगे या ट्रांसफर करने की कोशिश करोगे, उसको freeze कर देंगे. You cannot do those except with the consent of the authorities. Inspection report will be made. Follow up action में criminal prosecution हो सकता है if a person is found guilty. Disgorgement means making some kind of a fraudulent activity and trying to gain the money. In case, so disgorgement means undue benefit. So if any person has got any disgorged amount, it is his duty to return back the amount. In case of fraud, undue advantage or benefit, the central government may file an application before with the appropriate orders for disgorgement of the assets, property or cash. The central government may also file before the tribunal for holding the creditors, officers personally liable without any liability. तो अगर कोई भी benefit मिला है तो they will have to give, and the directors की unlimited liability हो सकती है. Disgorgement is an act of giving up something which has been obtained illegally or unethically. Now, very 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 important, what is the conduct of the company secretary? जब तुम्हारी company के ऊपर investigation चालू है, you have to ensure that you prepare a report. You make a, before an inspector commences the investigation into the affairs, it is advisable for the company to prepare a report touching upon various aspects of the activities of the business. This exercise will enable the company secretary to handle the investigation into the affairs of the company with courage and confidence. And he will prepare a report regarding the basic information, activities, contracts, loans, what are the different agency agreements, all the details. Who then the brief history of CFO, super duper important, you need to know it. So if we see your section 211 and 212 talks about CFO. This, according to me, is the most important. Please prepare an answer to build in for 5 marks. Okay, so let's start. Next, we'll be seeing about CFO. Now, Serious Fraud Investigation Office is a office created by the central government in terms of the government resolution number this. Very, very important, most important part of the chapter. Okay, you need to make a answer for this. Now, CFO is a dedicated office of the central government to deal into the serious offenses. Now, CFO will be headed by a director and will be experts of different fields such as banking, taxation, this IT, all forensics, law and order, everything. So they are in this office. You will find uh, experts of all the fields. Okay, experts of all the fields. Okay. Once the matter is referred to CFO, if the matter is before any other authority, it shall be assigned to CFO. Once a case has been assigned to CFO, the case shall not be investigated by any other government department. According to subsection 4, the investigating officer shall have all the powers given in as an inspector. Now, process of investigation by CFO. If CFO find that any person who they believe has committed an offense, they can directly arrest the person. So if any officer has reasons to believe that any person is guilty of an offense punishable, he will arrest the person and then uh, inform him the grounds. And not only that, once CFO arrest, within 24 hours, you'll be brought before the magistrates. That's what is written.
and then a investigating of a report will be sent to the central government. Now, when does central government refer the matter to CIFO? First, if on central government is of the opinion that it is necessary to investigate into the affairs of the company by CIFO on receipt of the inspection report under section 208, or special resolution has been passed where the members themselves are saying that a matter should be investigated by central government in public interest, or when if he receive a request from any other government department. So this is also important, you will have to quote it. Next, what is the process? Super duper simple process. Once on receipt of the order from the central government, the CIFO will make their own special officers will be created. If the matter is before any other agency, it will all be transferred to the CIFO. They will follow all the procedures given under the Companies Act. The investigating officer will have all the powers of an inspector. He can call for the information. He can hold any person guilty of fraud. He may arrest a person. On arrest, he will inform him the grounds and then produce him before the magistrate within 24 hours. He'll prepare his report and give it to the central government. Now, this is a case, very simple case in CIFO versus Rahul Modi. Now, in this, it was written that in law that the inspector shall complete their investigation and submit the report to the central government within a span of 3 months. Now, does that mean that the entire investigation should be completed within 3 months? So, this is what the question was raised. So, it was held by the Supreme Court that it could not be said that the prescription that is of 3 months within which a report is to be submitted by CIFO was a completion of the period of the investigation. That 3 months is the construction of the period of 3 months is to be taken as a purely directory provision that खाली आपको direction दिया हुआ है that you should complete within 3 months. Next we are seeing investigation procedure by SEBI. Now कोई भी एक investigation का method देखोगे ना, सभी investigation के methods आ जाएंगे. पहले यहाँ पे देखते हैं कि securities market का regulator is SEBI. Now SEBI regulates not only the security markets but also its intermediaries also. So let's see. Section 11C provides that when SEBI has any reasonable grounds to believe that the transaction in securities is being dealt in a manner detrimental to the interest of the investors, it may, by an order, make an order to investigate in the affairs of the intermediary or any other person or any of the transactions and prepare a report and send it to the सेबी. नाउ देखा था कि जब भी सेबी ऑर्डर कर दिया जो भी जिसके ऊपर भी इंटरमीडिएट या कंपनी के ऊपर, every person will have to present the documents to the investigating authorities. The investigating authority may call for any book, examine a person on oath. If a person refuses to give any information, he'll be held liable and can be punished. The authorized officer may on requisition, अगर कोई इंसान information नहीं दे रहा है, then the authorized officer may request any police officer to arrest him in getting the information, and the police officer should give them all the assistance needed to procure any information. The investigating authority, जैसे हम लोग ने देखा था कोई भी investigating authority in the previously also, they have a right to enter, they have a right to search any person, they have a right to seize any books. Now एक है यहाँ पे SEBI Prohibition of Fraudulent Unfair Trade Practice Relating to Securities Market 2003. पहली बात की, what do you mean by unfair trade practice? Okay, so a person shall not buy or sell in a fraudulent manner, deploy in connection with any purchase or any security any manipulative device, employ any device or a scheme to defraud, or engage in any act which would amount to deceit the people. So all of this is considered to be unfair trade practices. तो कितनी Ponzi schemes होती है. Now power of SEBI, that is Security Exchange Board of India, to order investigation. So where the board, the chairman, the members of the executive director has reasonable grounds to believe अब सेबी कब इन्वेस्टिगेशन कर सकता है कि कोई भी मैनर डेट्रीमेंटल हो रहा है या कोई इंटरमीडिएट ने कोई वायलेट किया है, तो इट मे ऑर्डर इन्वेस्टिगेशन. पावर्स ऑफ द इन्वेस्टिगेटिंग अथॉरिटी, जैसे हम लोग ने ऊपर देखा था, दे कैन कॉल फॉर इंफॉर्मेशन, दे कैन इंस्पेक्ट एनी बुक, they can ask any person to present any information, they can to keep any custody of any books, they can seize any books, they can examine any person on oath, any examine the managing director, director of the company, the KMPs on oath. Power of the investigating authority to be exercised with the approval. तो ये सारी चीजें करनी रहेगी तो एक स्पेशल अप्रूवल लेना पड़ेगा. द इन्वेस्टिगेटिंग अथॉरिटी में आफ्टर टेकिंग अप्रूवल फ्रॉम द चेयरमैन of SEBI can exercise any of the following powers. अब देखते क्या है, to call for any information from any bank, okay, अब which has been set up by the central bank, okay. तो अगर बैंक के पास से इंफॉर्मेशन लेना है तो काफी सेंसिटिव इंफॉर्मेशन होता है, इसलिए पहले अप्रूवल लेके जाओ. टू मेक एन एप्लीकेशन टू द JMFC फॉर सीजिंग एनी बुक्स, तो अगर तुम्हें कोई बुक सीज करनी है तो वापस तुम्हें अप्रूवल लेना पड़ेगा. इट इज अ ड्यूटी ऑफ एवरी ऑफिसर टू कोऑपरेट, जैसे हम लोग ने देखा था, इन्वेस्टिगेशन होती है, इंफॉर्मेशन मांगते हैं, कोऑपरेट करना पड़ेगा, नहीं करेंगे तो जेल होगी. Such person shall allow the investigating authority to access any premises, okay, extend any facilities to examine the books of accounts, etc., which is in their control, provide to such investigating authority such books which in the opinion of the investigating authority are relevant, and give them computer printouts thereof. Actions which may be taken by the board, तो सिंपल सी चीज है. सेक्शन 11 याद रखना है हम लोग को, रेगुलेशन 11, okay, that the board may take the following action. They can suspend a person, restrain them, impound them, punish them, cancel, prohibit, debar them completely. Once they do any action, they will issue a press release and also put it on your SEBI website. अब इसमें केस दिया था, it's like a insider trading. You can just read it, not that important. Where SEBI investigated into the activities of Shri Kanhaiya Lal and an individual trader. Okay, हुआ क्या था, ये लोग ने, one was the portfolio manager of PII who also happens to be the cousin. It was alleged that Deepak Patel provided information to KB and AB relating to some forthcoming activity of PII. ठीक है, तो ये ऑलरेडी इनसाइडर ट्रेडिंग था, उसको बता दिया, जिसकी वजह से इतना टोटल प्रॉफिट हुआ था. So it was held that you have breached confidentiality and it amounted to affecting the integrity and efficiency of the market. So therefore this fraudulent and unfair trade practices act के अंदर he was held liable. Not that important in the case law. तो अभी कोई भी रेगुलेटरी अथॉरिटी का सभी पॉइंट्स तुम बोल पाओगे. देखो, फेमा का भी रेगुलेटर कौन है, RBI, और अगर हवाला ट्रांजैक्शंस का रहेगा तो ED, एनफोर्समेंट ऑफ डायरेक्टरेट, तो ये एनफोर्सिंग है. दे हैव अ पावर टू सर्च, सीज, कैन आस्क फॉर इंफॉर्मेशन, उनके पास में क्या क्या पावर्स होंगे, सेम एज दैट ऑफ द इनकम टैक्स अथॉरिटीज. नेक्स्ट FCRA, दिस फॉरेन कंट्रीब्यूशन रेगुलेशन एक्ट. इसमें क्या रहता है, अब्रॉड से जो भी डोनेशंस आते हैं, ओके, इट इज रेगुलेटेड बाय द सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट. कभी कभार वो लोग ऐसे रेगुलेट करते हैं कोई कोई चीजें कि भाई अप्रूवल के बाद में आप डोनेशन ले सकते हो, और कोई लोगों के लिए प्रोहिबिट किया है. सो द जजेस, एनी काइंड ऑफ मेंबर ऑफ पार्लियामेंट, ये लोग को तो प्रोहिबिट ही किया है फ्रॉम एनी कार्टूनिस्ट, कॉलमिस्ट, बिकॉज इट अफेक्ट्स द सॉवरेनिटी एंड इंटीग्रिटी ऑफ इंडिया. यू कैन गिव डोनेशन फ्रॉम अब्रॉड टू दीज पीपल, ओके. अब कोई लोग के लिए लाइक कोई चैरिटेबल ट्रस्ट है, कोई NGO है, तो वो लोग एक्सेप्ट कर सकते हैं डोनेशंस. कोई यूनिवर्सिटी है तो दे कैन एक्सेप्ट डोनेशंस, बट लॉ सेज कि टेक अप्रूवल ऑफ RBI. वो फॉरेन कंट्रीब्यूशन इसको बोलते हैं. डोनेशन का दूसरा वर्ड क्या है, फॉरेन कंट्रीब्यूशन. अब कभी कभार पता चला कि कुछ गड़बड़ है, ब्लैक मनी का काम है, या तुमने एक्सेस में किया है, तो भी इंस्पेक्शन सर्च सीज कर सकते हैं. द सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट रेगुलेटर है तो वो लोग कोई भी अथॉरिटी को चेक कर सकते हैं जिसको पैसे मिले, वो सीज हो जाएगा, फ्रीज हो जाएगा, रिपोर्ट बनेगा. सेम पॉइंट्स they can seize power, उनके पास में क्या क्या है, almost सब points you can build up. Okay? एक कोई भी रेगुलेटरी एक्शन अच्छे से करते तो हो जाता है. अभी कंपटीशन एक्ट 2002 ना, ये तुम्हारे सीआर में भी है. नाउ कंपटीशन एक्ट में रेगुलेटर कौन है? कंपटीशन कमीशन ऑफ इंडिया. तो ये एक्शन ले सकता है तुम्हारे ऊपर. कंपटीशन कमीशन ऑफ इंडिया में इंक्वायर इनटू एनी एलिज कॉन्ट्रवेंशन. अब क्या हो सकता है, किसी ने एंटी कॉम्पिटिटिव अग्रीमेंट किया होगा, या किसी ने कोई रॉन्गफुल कॉम्बिनेशन किया होगा विच इज हैविंग अ एडवर्स इफेक्ट ऑन कॉम्बिनेशन, तो वो लोग इंक्वायरी कर सकते हैं. या आई थिंक तुमको सीआर और ड्यू डिलिजेंस में भी है. एक बार इंफॉर्मेशन आएगा, दे कैन, तो यू कैन रीड इट फ्रॉम देयर. एंटी कॉम्पिटिटिव अग्रीमेंट, यू शुड नॉट टेक अब्यूज एनी डोमिनेंट पोजीशन. ये केस लॉ है, ये एक रीड कर सकते हो, बहुत ही सिंपल सा था. अडानी वर्सेस कंपटीशन कमीशन ऑफ इंडिया. अब इसमें हुआ क्या था, द मैटर अपीलेट अथॉरिटी तक गया था, बट फिर भी अडानी वाज फाउंड गिल्टी. द NCLAT has upheld that the Fair Trade Regulator, that is CCI, upholding that Adani is guilty of abusing of the dominant position while supplying pipe natural gas to industrial customers in Faridabad. So you can just write that as a quote. Then so after CCI, then I think we're almost done. Factories Act, not important. GST and all of that, you can read it from those particular laws. इनकम टैक्स अथॉरिटी भी रीड कर सकते हो, बहुत ही खतरनाक अथॉरिटी है. इसकी असेसिंग ऑफिसर पहले नोटिस भेजता है और उसमें सारे पावर्स होते हैं ऑफ अ सिविल कोर्ट. दे कैन, सब पॉइंट सेम है, ठीक है. सो ऑलवेज रिमेंबर दैट दे हैव अ राइट टू कॉल फॉर इंफॉर्मेशन, ठीक है. देन इट इज द ड्यूटी टू कोऑपरेट. इफ यू डोंट डू, देन दे विल पनिश यू. Then apart from that, you have all the powers of the civil procedure code will be followed. Civil code के पास में powers है. Then एक inspection report बनेगा. Then they have then they can search, seize, and if they find you guilty, they can arrest you. एक बार arrest करेंगे तो 24 hours के अंदर magistrate के पास में पहुंच जाओगे. या तो ये सब common points है, तुम हमेशा कोड कर सकते हो. सब जगह enforcement authorities में same point. They will inform you the grounds for arrest. Okay. So just build a common answer.
Next we'll be seeing is your Central Bureau of Investigation, that is your CBI. Your CBI was established under the Delhi Police Establishment Act 1946. Since it's the Central Bureau of Investigation, the government that has control over it is your central government. Okay, so it controls everything which the central government has and which it directly has control over, like your union territories. So its basic jurisdiction is Delhi and the union territory, because union territories come under the governance of central government. In practice, they investigate all the matters on India on request and extension under Section 5. So central government can investigate into any matter which is there originally in your Delhi and in your union territory. However, when it comes to the investigation into state, any state government or state act, what happens, the central government, the state government might not really like it that some external agencies, central government agencies coming and investigating into matters which relate to them. So if we had seen the Sushant Singh murder case, the Maharashtra police, people were unhappy and the family was unhappy with the investigation done by Maharashtra police. So the Maharashtra state government was saying that we are investigating into the matter. However, a matter went up in the High Court and the High Court ordered a CBI probe. So that Maharashtra government did not like. So there's always a conflict between the state and the central government when the central government wants to send its own agency into investigation of a state.
So firstly, when can CBI investigate into the matters relating to state or inside the state? First, with the approval of the state government. So it requires approval of the state government. So taking up investigation by the CBI in the boundaries of a state requires prior approval of that state. That is given under a section 6 of the Delhi Special Police Establishment Act. Now, do you think the state government will give approval? Sometimes they don't give. So what happens? You have to go to the High Court. Like in the Sushant Singh murder case, the family went up to the High Court and asked for a CBI probe, which was then granted. The central government can authorize CBI to investigate into such a crime in a state, but only with the consent of the state government. However, it is to be noted that the Supreme Court and High Court can order CBI to investigate into any crime anywhere in the country without the consent of the state as well. We'll see the types of investigation. The CBI has grown into a multidisciplinary investigation agency. When I say multidisciplinary means what? It has all the facets of investigation incorporated in it. Like for example, they have a cyber team, they have a forensic team, they have a IT team, they have a legal experts. So all the experts are clubbed in one agency. Then it is called as a multidisciplinary agency. It has three divisions for investigations. One is the anti-corruption division. So whenever there is any corrupt practices, the CBI takes up the matter. If you see in the recently, Maharashtra government, the Anil Deshmukh was alleged that he had involved in certain corrupt practices. So what happened? The Supreme Court ordered a CBI probe into the corrupt practices done by Anil Deshmukh. See this. Serious allegations made against Anil Deshmukh require a CBI probe, rules the Supreme Court. And right now the matter is pending before the Supreme Court. So this is the corruption related issues can be taken up. Second is matters with respect to economic offenses, like for example, any kind of cyber crime, any kind of bank frauds, currency notes, etc. Now, if you go to see in the PNB scam, the Punjab National Bank even was under a kind of an economic scam where someone had making a monetary benefit and caused a monetary benefit to the bank. So if you see, CBI registered a case against Gokul Nath Shetty, a former PNB deputy manager, for allegedly receiving rupees 1 crore for allowing the LOUs, the letter of credit in favor of Mehul Choksi's Gitanjali group of companies. So this is another matter where CBI investigation was done for a economic fraud. Okay. When it comes to corruption, it is a certain government official or related to government having public duty. They are acting into and asking for bribes. This could be done by individual people also, where they make scams and really put the people at loss. The third is special crimes division for investigation which have sensationalized or have become an organized crime under the Indian Penal Code. For example, in the Sushant Singh murder case or Sushant Singh case, death case, CBI investigation was done because it was a very mysterious death, it was sensationalized by the media as well. So the CBI probe was done. Other kinds of crimes where there are organized crimes, where there is gangs are there, that time CBI also involves itself. The central government, by notification in the official gazette, will specify certain offences which are to be investigated by the Delhi Special Police Establishment Act. Then we are talking about economic offences wing. Now you have to understand what is the EOW. Now I had also appeared before the EOW. This was with respect to a matter related to a client. EOW, first of all, talks about economic offences wing. Okay, this deals with financial scams, Ponzi schemes, okay, Ponzi schemes, and everything here is discussed in crores. The matter that we were discussing was relating to around 400 crores scam. Okay. If you go to see economic offenses wing, a matter was there
For QNet, it was a multi-level marketing where they say you make 2 members, they will make further 2 members, and so on and all this. And this is all a scam actually. So QNet, Mumbai police. Now, when I say Mumbai police, it is a state police. So this economic offences wing is a special wing of the state police. So it is under the central state government agency. Okay, handle investigations with respect to economic offences. Now, they had freeze the bank accounts. Now, QNet was a Hong Kong-based controversial multi-level marketing where I sell it to you, you further sell it to 2 people, and then those 2 further make members and so on. Okay, so they promise astronomical returns to the people, and many people they feel that this is all true. And then in the end, the Vivek Kumar Singh, who was a founder, was arrested. Okay, it was a scam of around, this is the state economic wing, that is your Mumbai economics wings of Mumbai police. QNet case. It was worth 2.5 crores scheme. Okay, there are other Ponzi schemes also which are there. Now, the purpose of the EOW is to prevent, detect, investigate into economic, cyber, and intellectual property related crimes. Okay, and to provide prompt justice and desired relief to the victims. They covered matters related to fraud. Now, the matter which I had dealt with was it was a forgery and shares. There was a share transfer. There was forged signature and there was a transfer of shares. So approximately 400 crores shares were transferred without the consent of the seller by forging the signatures. So that matter was taken up by the EOW. So this was fraud, this counterfeit notes, offenses, anything. This is with the state government feels that there is a economic offense. Okay, credit card relating scams. So being a specialized wing of the state police to deal with the important matters considered like multi-level marketing, frauds, share market frauds, victims, etc. Okay, then comes professional and modern methods. Now these agencies which are there, they have with time become very much equipped with the latest technology such as data recovery softwares. They have certain cyber team. They have all the best equipments to detect frauds and find out certain kind of crimes. Okay, the EOW strives to achieve excellence in investigation of cases related to economic crimes by adopting professional and modern methods, by equipping them with a state-of-the-art knowledge, are being cognizant of the emerging trends as well. Next is public interest cases. EOW is sensitive towards victims, so it's mostly to protect victims who have been victims of certain financial scams, where a large number of people get duped by fraudsters. Especially these could be Ponzi schemes, which people believe are true and invest in the hope of getting astronomical returns. Okay, pursue such cases with vigor and zeal. Cyber crimes, they strive to be proactive because even in cyber crimes and counterfeit, there was a matter with respect to cryptocurrency where they are saying that this person is going to make a scheme for dealing in cryptocurrency. Whereas in India, cryptocurrency like bitcoins, certain kind of other cryptocurrencies are completely banned. And these people, they say that they are going to do, they create a kind of a company online, fake websites, etc., and then dupe you. So now they take proactive measures in adopting modern methods to investigate continuously into upgrading its capabilities to face the ever increasing cyber crimes. It creates awareness among the students, general public about these crimes. And that is it. We are done with the chapter.